Hi, I'm Rodney,
And I'm Bonnie.
and we are the pair that make up the ownership of Whole Body Wellness Concepts, your wellness go-to company. Right now, our premier product is
Personal infrared sauna.
personal infrared sauna, absolutely. And so that's what we want to talk to you today about. Not just our sauna, but we want to talk to you about infrared itself, what it does for you, why everybody should have an infrared product, and why we believe that our product is superior to any product on the market today. So we are going to touch on several subjects, and we're just going to be more conversational about this than anything else. And so to start, we're going to talk about how infrared affects the body in 6 major ways. The first way is, Bonnie?
Detox.
Detoxification. And how does infrared affect the body in terms of detoxification?
It's spectacular with it. Infrared is, I always teach people, what is infrared, okay? We've heard the word, but we're not sure exactly what it is. Think of walking out in the sun. The minute you walk out, you can feel those rays go way down deep inside you. That's the infrared part. And that's the part that we are duplicating in our personal infrared sauna. And so when you sit in there, you can feel the rays go down deep inside you, not on the outside, on the inside. It's cellular. And so when that happens, then on a cellular level, you are detoxing your body. And that's the beauty of our product.
So infrared is the reason on a hot day you step into the shade, right? And it feels cooler in the shade even though the air temperature is no different. Mm-hmm. Or on a cold day, when the infrared penetrates your skin, the air temperature is still very cold, but you feel warmth. That's what infrared is. Mm-hmm. And again, right down to the cellular level. That's what infrared is. And so how does that detox the body though, Bonnie?
How does it detox the body?
Right.
Well, one of the major ways that it detoxes the body is that in the subcutaneous layer are fat cells holding toxins. There's water molecules that surround them. When infrared goes into those water molecules, because it goes way down deep into that layer, it excites them. And when it excites them, it's kind of like boiling water. And they pop. And when they pop, they're releasing those stuck fat cells and toxins that are in there. And so they're able to flush out the body. That's one of the ways.
That's one of the ways. That's a good way. We have a whole natural detoxification system. We have a whole lymphatic system. We have a very powerful detox machine in our liver, and of course our kidneys. I like to tell people, let's not ignore those systems. Those systems are powerful. We want to keep them running at full strength, and so that's why we say, let's use those systems to detox. Let's use those systems to detox. And I tell people over and over, let's use those systems. Let's keep them clean. Let's keep them pristine. Let's not necessarily use the skin as a filter when we have those particular filters. That's my take. Are you good?
Great.
Good. After we have put our body in a position to detox, let me ask you one question real quick. What temperature is a good temperature to detox?
I like 120, 125 right in there. And the reason I like that is because personal preference. I like being in the sauna. I like feeling the warmth on the inside. But I know that sweating isn't necessary to get a really, really deep detox. So I don't need to sweat to detox, so I don't. So 120, 125, I won't have the sweating profusely, so I can stay for as long as I want. And so I use mine as a desk, and I just sit there for an hour, 2 hours each day, and that's why I do 120, 125, because it works.
Circulation. Circulation, circulation, circulation. This is something that we begin to lose the function of circulation as we get older, as our hair starts to change color, and as our body systems become more sedentary as we get older. We're not as active as we used to be. Many reasons for not having the same circulation as we once did. So how does infrared help circulation? I'm going to tell you that, and again, if you want the research on this, go below, send me this information. But the enzyme reaction between the light rays, literally the light rays that come from these heaters. Now we're surrounded with 6 heaters, correct? And I don't know whether to say they're heaters that generate a light wave or they're a light wave that generate heat. Either way, there's a light wave that is penetrating into your body, 1.5 to 2 inches. That light wave interacts with the cells of the body, creates literally a chemical reaction, an enzymatic reaction that produces a gas which is called nitric oxide. Now, people all over town are trying to produce more nitric oxide. They're telling you to eat beets. They're telling you to eat more L-arginine. And those ways have certain benefits to them, but nothing does it naturally like infrared. So nitric oxide, what is it? It's a gas. The gas flows through our veins. It dilates all our veins, vessels, arteries, capillaries. Capillaries being the most important, right? That's where we get the least amount of circulation. So if I can create all this dilation in my body, then certainly the blood flow is going to go further into my body. We recently discovered a paper called The Fourth Phase of Water. Again, ask us, we'll send it to you. It's an amazing article. Let me sum it up by saying 2 things. One, that it acts as a blood thinner, which doesn't negate any of the blood thinners if you're already taking them. And it acts as an anticoagulant for those people who are at risk for blood clots and strokes. And so it makes it a perfect adjunct to blood circulation, blood flow throughout the body. Bonnie, you know as well as I do, the reason people have so many back surgeries is because the doctors say, we can't get blood flow to those discs.
Exactly.
Literally the veins in the discs are smaller than the red blood cells trying to feed them. When
Both the back and the knees.
Well, any cartilage.
Yeah.
Any cartilage. The knees, certainly, but we see more back issues than we do anything else. Now, if I can dilate those tiny little veins, and I can thin that blood, and then have that blood flow through those veins, then over time, those issues that require oxygen, require blood to heal, are going to heal. And that's why, in this case, for someone with a back injury or knee injury or any cartilage issues, torn rotator, they're going to benefit from this added circulation. But the most important person, who do you think the most important person is? That's okay. Diabetics.
Oh, yes.
Diabetics. Many things happen with diabetics because of their issues. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to go into the issues. What I do know is that I'm going to dilate all their veins, vessels, arteries, and capillaries, thin the blood, have it run all the way through their body. So now issues with things like neuropathy, ulcers that won't heal, heal in 2 ways. One, from the outside in, because of the heat that infrared as it penetrates the sore, and then from the inside out. And so we see people with diabetic ulcers, not, those are healing fantastically, but also neuropathy.
I'm reminded of the gentleman in Washington 5 years ago or so, came up to me in a wheelchair, diabetic neuropathy, knees down, sores all over the bottom of his feet, scheduled to have his feet removed. That's how bad they were. They just weren't healing, no circulation. And he said, will this help? And I said, I don't know, it's your body. It's helped other people, but I'm not sure how your body is going to respond. And he said, I'm going to try it. So he bought one and called me a couple months later and said, my feet, they hurt. And I went, that's great. We love it. Because that meant the nerves are starting to restore. And I said, just pull it back to maybe 15 minutes a day because your body will go back in memory, so it'll be painful. And he goes, doesn't matter, I'll push through the pain. And the next year at the fair, he ran up to me, complete healing. We both cried. It was amazing. And then just last year in January, he came up, gave me a big hug, and he said, I just celebrated my 80th birthday on the golf course. I could walk. And it was just, that's what happens. That's what we see happen with circulation in this machine.
That's circulation, in a nutshell. And you hear it's a cliche. If we could only help one person, well, the truth is this happens for all people, whether how their body responds to it or how long it takes to respond to it. But nitric oxide it happens. You can't stop that enzyme reaction. A couple small things about nitric oxide. Not only is it a vasodilator, but it is a neurotransmitter. And as a neurotransmitter, it runs the signals from the brain to the rest of the body. And because of that, even if you have low blood pressure, everybody says this lowers blood pressure, but I already have low blood pressure. The brain knows that your blood pressure needs to come up. So it will actually send a signal through the nitric oxide to contract the veins to actually raise your blood pressure.
One of the other things that I'm reminded with nitric oxide is when we're young, we have huge amounts of nitric oxide. Children, they heal so fast. It's like, what the heck? When we get old, what happened, you know? Well, as we age, nitric oxide production slows down. And that's why older people just have such a hard time healing. And that's why this is so powerful to raise that nitric oxide production, just like when you were young.
You bring up a great point, and let me just say, there's a reason why those same young people don't have heart disease, right? They don't have all the junk clogging their veins and arteries, and what nitric oxide does, what the other thing that it does as it dilates, it actually helps remove the excess that's in the veins, and it doesn't do it in chunks. People go, are chunks of my plaque gonna fall? From what I've read and what I understand, it treats it almost like a very fine sandpaper, right? So it slowly moves it out. That's why they have people in stage 4 cardiovascular disease using infrared, because it helps them, and that in particular is about nitric oxide. Inflammation. Inflammation is responsible for 2 things: pain, because it's pushing on a nerve or many nerves. Fibromyalgia is just inflammation gone haywire, and it's responsible when it attaches to our internal organs for most of the disease that we see. It attaches there. Bonnie, what about inflammation?
Inflammation, I get emotional when I talk about it because I had fibromyalgia for 20 years, and it was miserable. I remember my 50th birthday waking up just sobbing because I just didn't want to live. I had back pain, so I had a lot of inflammation there. I had torn rotator cuff. I had fibromyalgia all through my body, all inflammation based. And now my back is still messed up, but the inflammation made it worse. And from sitting in the sauna, and it took time. It was not overnight. I do an hour and a half, 2 hours each day. It took time, but after 2 months of sitting in the sauna, my back didn't hurt anymore. for the first time, my back got hurt. I broke my toe bone when I was 12. It grew back backwards. So I don't have structure to keep everything in place down there. It hurt from age 12 to age 57. And I never thought I'd be out of pain. And from that, the last 5 years, I have completely been out of pain. My back's still messed up. It hasn't changed. But I have no pain because I have no inflammation. And so it's very dear to my heart how infrared takes down inflammation.
And it does it, now we're doing this in an order: detox, circulation, inflammation. Each one relates to the other. Mm-hmm. They're all intertwined, and they work as a unit, for lack of a better term. But inflammation itself, whether it's in the back, whether it's in the shoulder, she mentioned she had a torn rotator cuff. Now she has full range of motion in her arm. She can lift anything. Like she's actually our best example of inflammation. The number one reason, I always say the number one reason we should sell these saunas, Bonnie, is for prevention.
Yes.
Right? For people who don't, all the stuff we're talking about, you don't want it, you should have a sauna.
Exactly.
But nobody does that in our country. Well, few people do that in our country. And they wait till something's wrong, and then they wait for the doctor to give them a pill or a potion or stick a needle in their arm and say, "Gosh, I'm sorry. You need to get your house in order because you've got 2 weeks to live." Have you ever had that? Does that ever happen to you?
He says that because the way I was introduced to infrared is my husband was diagnosed with cancer in 2003, given 2 weeks to live. And I'm usually better than this, but
it's all right.
It was
There's
hard.
There's a reason we're doing this, Bonnie. This is one of them.
It's very much I have a passion for this because I don't want any family to go through what my daughter and I went through. My husband was given 2 weeks to live. I just said, "Oh, no." So one that says when he goes home, and that's not you, to the doctors. We fought. We did chemo, radiation, stem cell transplant, and he lived, but 3 years later the cancer came back. And the doctors at that point said, "Bye-bye. You've had your lifetime max of chemo radiation." Didn't even know there was such a thing. And so I was, "No, we're not done. We will fight." And I put him in infrared. And 3 months later, his 3/4 inch tumor was gone. Now, does the personal infrared sauna cure cancer? No. His body started working correctly and fought the cancer, and it was gone. So...
You mean it's not a magic bullet?
No magic bullet. There is a magic bullet, and the magic bullet is your body.
Perfect.
If we can fortify your body so that it works the way it's supposed to, our bodies were designed to heal themselves. That's the way it's supposed to be, but we don't have the tools anymore to do it. Our food is polluted, our water is polluted. You know all those things, but you don't have a way to fight it. We're saying this is what we have found, that this tool, the personal infrared sauna, fortifies your body so that it can do the work it's designed to do, which is heal itself of so many things.
The body, Bonnie, is a healing machine. Mm-hmm. It can, with the right mindset, and the right emphasis on getting rid of what we started with toxicity, getting rid of circulation, and now to inflammation, it can put itself in a position to do a lot of things. People talk about miracles, and yeah, I wholeheartedly believe in miracles, but the miracles are already in front of us. Mm-hmm. Infrared is in front of us every day when we step into the sun. So for the body to be able to rid itself of cancer because it's been given the right environment, it's not a miracle. It is just a fact of the body. So, inflammation, internal organs, that's where disease starts. We're never going to see that there's inflammation there, but we do know that when we get rid of pain, we got rid of inflammation. So it's very easy to not just assume, but correlate the same thing with the inflammation on our internal organs. If we can increase the blood flow, right, the circulation, and we can detox the body, that inflammation is going to go away. Hippocrates, the father of modern medicine, he said, and this quote has been attributed to several different people, but everybody knows who Hippocrates is. Nobody knows who the other people are that hasn't studied that depth of history, but everybody knows Hippocrates, the Hippocratic Oath. He said, "Give me the power to create a fever, and I will cure the world's diseases." Why is that? Why is giving your body a fever? People associate fever with sickness.
Yes.
What should they do instead?
Associate fever with detox, with ridding the body of the pathogens, the bad guys that we don't want in there.
Our body raises its own temperature when we get a virus. When we get the flu, our body raises its own temperature. The worst thing we can do is take pills that get rid of the fever when we have the flu. Mm-hmm. Our body wants our temperature to come up so it can kill that virus. Fevers kill viruses, parasites, pathogens, the flu, the cold, cancer cells. It weakens them to the point where now our immune system can take over, and either it's going to kill them or it's going to weaken them to the point where we might have the worst flu virus on the planet and not even know it, because the infrared weakened it, or our fever in this case weakened it. Again, the body can heal itself in many ways. You don't have to go through the torture of the flu. Or I got the flu once, Bonnie, at the Christmas show.
Oh yeah.
Sat in the sauna for 8 hours. 8 hours at the and all the other vendors at that show were literally in bed for 4 days. And I took 8 hours sitting in the sauna while Bonnie sold saunas. And I took one of the 4 for myself. But by hour 6, I was coherent. By hour 8, I was back selling. And by the next day, I was just fine. And that is not atypical of what is atypical that I got it, because of the travel that we had been doing. I hadn't been sitting in the sauna regularly. And had I been, I might not have ever even noticed I had it. In this case, I had it for a day instead of the typical 4 days to 2 weeks.
Exactly.
So,
and what I always tell people with the fever is we give you a fever only on the inside. And that's very different. Everybody thinks fever, you have to sweat. Not necessarily. Our fever is on the inside only because it slowly raises the core body temperature, and we keep the temperature down so that you're not on the outside, you're healing from the inside out. So as we raise the core body temperature, your internal body gets a fever, which pushes the toxins out of the lymphatic system into the bloodstream, out through elimination. And when you can eliminate those, then you are detoxing. You are getting that healthy fever to cleanse your body every single day that you sit in that sauna.
A fever is healthy. How about that? Give me the power to create a fever. I will cure the world's diseases. Over 2,000 years ago, he already knew that. And this is how you do it. And you do it daily, day after day after day after day. A healthy fever. So, healthy fever. Give me the power to create a fever. I will cure the world's diseases. A couple things happen, and the last 2 major things that we want to talk about in this segment itself is what happens when you raise your body core temperature. You give yourself a healthy fever. First and foremost, it enhances your immune system. It does this by signaling your brain, I've got a fever, I must be sick. So it pushes your immune system into overdrive, starts producing more red or white blood cells from our bone marrow, and more killer T cells from our thymus gland. So we are accelerating, we're boosting our immune system. We're doing it every single day. So we're keeping that thing in overdrive. A lot of these things that we say are maybe a little oversimplified, but it's more important that you understand them on a general level than on a specific level, and that's why we do it. I'm not looking to be 100% perfect in my language and in what we say. I just want you to get the general idea of what happens when you sit in infrared. So enhancing the immune system.
Mm-hmm.
Anything? It's pretty simple. Raise your body temperature, your body kicks the immune system into overdrive. The immune system now can go in and attack the viruses, parasites, pathogens that you've weakened from raising your body temperature. They kind of go hand in hand. And again, it's the body that's doing it. The body is taking over and healing itself. We are just helping out. And then finally, it helps balance your metabolism. And Bonnie, I'll let you talk about balancing the metabolism.
Many of us are focused on boosting the metabolism, but there's some people that they don't need boosting the metabolism. And so is the infrared right for them? The beauty of infrared is that it doesn't boost, it doesn't, do either or. It does whatever your body needs. That is what's so powerful about it. It's not an outside force telling your body what it needs. We're so used to that. Pills, supplements, it's all outside forces. This level isn't good, so I'll take a vitamin whatever. We're used to the outside telling the inside what it needs. With infrared, it's the inside telling it what it needs. So when you get the infrared, your brain goes, oh, wow, your metabolism needs to go up. Let's fix that. And it goes in, it sends the white blood cells down, and it starts doing its thing, and again, doing what the body's designed to do, which is fixing that. And the metabolism is just one of those things that it takes care of.
When your body is sick and it's very toxic, your body will actually slow its own metabolism to create more fat, to create a greater storage area for toxins. Once you've detoxed the body, like I said, these all fit in one within another. Once you've detoxed your body, your brain says, I no longer need that fat. I can actually, for the same reason I slowed my metabolism, I'm going to speed it back up to get rid of this excess fat because I no longer need it. And that is the other way that your body uses itself to increase or decrease metabolism. If your body needs greater blood flow but doesn't need the accelerated metabolism, your body will not do that to hurt itself. Your body just won't. It does not hurt itself. It will not hurt itself as long as the system is clean, as long as the system is running well. Bonnie, and this question comes up over and over and over, and we'll in another segment we're going to cover this specifically, probably repeat a lot of things we say right here. But why the sauna to here? Why are we not completely enclosed? That's traditional, right? It comes from first Scandinavia and then to our country and then to infrared. Why wouldn't we just give everybody the same sauna everybody else gets?
Exactly.
Why is it that we do it specifically this way?
So people look at our saunas and say, why not the whole body? And I always tell them, you are doing the whole body. And they kind of look at me with like, yeah, right. But think about it. The only reason we think like that is because Western medicine has taught us to think if it hurts here, you have to put something here. Because they compartmentalize our bodies. It's just the way it is. And so our brains also compartmentalize our body. But this is systemic. This is the whole body. Anytime you improve circulation, improve the immune system, all those things on the inside on a cellular level, it's going to go through the whole body. It automatically does. You can't stop it from doing that.
So let me ask a question real quick. If I'm dehydrated and I'm at the beach, better I jump in the water and get water all over my body or drink a glass of water.
Exactly.
It literally is drinking the glass of water.
Yeah.
That water is going to go throughout my body because of nitric oxide, because of all these other things that happen with infrared. That's why she said it's systemic. It travels throughout the entire body, and that's why we don't worry about this part being out. And the bonus to that, Bonnie.
Well, the bonus to that is our upper body has the heart. We have good circulation up here. We don't have a problem. It's all of us from here down. We don't have good circulation. We don't function really well. And so what we're doing is we're taking this part of the body and we're matching it up with this part of the body. So now the entire body is able to do its work.
So how long does that allow me to stay in the sauna?
Now that's the beauty, because the heart and the head are out. You can stay as long as you want. I slept overnight in it one night because I felt like I was kind of getting the flu. Everybody around me, 3-week flu, and it was Christmas Eve, and I refused to get sick on Christmas Day. So I slept in it overnight, and I woke up Christmas Day absolutely fine. And I'm like, it works, yay! So, it's true.
So no limit to how long I can stay in the sauna. We know how good infrared is for us. Therefore, if I extrapolate that, I can say the longer I sit in infrared, the greater the benefits, the 6 benefits we just outlined are going to be.
Yes.
And those, so in review, Bonnie, am I detoxing only from here down?
Entire body.
Okay, but my circulation certainly is only gonna stop here, just the bottom part of my body.
Entire body.
Okay, but surely any inflammation I have from here up is gonna stay because.
Entire body.
Okay, but I'm gonna get out. And I'm gonna have a temperature of 102 from here down and 98.6 from here up, right?
Entire body.
But my immune system.
Our thinking.
Entire body, right?
Entire body.
And my metabolism?
Entire body.
You guys, that's it. Detox, circulation, inflammation, healthy fever, enhanced immune system, balanced metabolism. It's the entire body. You're not going to shake it off. You're not going to get rid of it. It happens to everybody. Infrared, that's how it attacks the body. There's nothing bad about it. There's only a couple contraindications. One is you don't want to use it when you're on chemotherapy because it boosts your immune system so well that it counteracts the benefits. I can't even believe those words are coming out of my mouth. Benefits of chemotherapy, and you don't want to sit in it when you're pregnant because we don't want to heat the fetus. Even though, as soon as that fetus comes out of the body and they put it into a crib in the hospital, the light that's shining over that baby is an infrared lamp, and so immediately they are using infrared on that tiny little infant. Anyway, that is it for this portion. Remember the big 6: detox, circulation, inflammation, healthy fever, enhanced immune system, balanced metabolism. Thank you so much for listening. Again, you have any questions, just go right down below and send us your questions, and we're happy to answer them for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.